Everyone, welcome back to a new post today, and let us look at the most important points that you need to remember for the prelims of UPSC the examination, civil services examination for 2025. And let's look into the important points for July 1st. So the last post was about June 30th. Let's enter into the month of July. So the very first thing is that the special thing about July 1st 2024 is that the new criminal laws now, which are going to replace the criminal code, the criminal procedure code, the Indian Evidence Act and the Indian Penal Code will come into effect from July 1st. So what are the most important changes that you need to track and also remember, not only from the prelims point of view but also from the mains perspective as well? Some of the few changes that you need to remember that are going to come into force with the new criminal laws are that, first of all, the criminal case judgments have to be delivered now within 45 days after the trial ends, and charges must be framed within 60 days of the first hearing. All the state governments must implement witness protection schemes to ensure the safety and the cooperation of witnesses. The second point will be statements from the rape victims will be recorded by the female police officers in the presence of the victim's guardian or relative, and the medical reports will be completed within 7 days. Now, a new chapter in the law addresses the crimes against women and children. Buying or selling of a child is classified as a heinous crime punishable by severe penalties. The gang rape or a sexual assault by a group of people of a minor can result in a death sentence and even a life imprisonment. The law now includes punishments for cases where the women are abandoned after being misled by false promises of marriage. Victims of crimes against women are entitled to receive regular updates on the cases within 90 days. All the hospitals are required to provide free first aid or medical treatment for the victims of crimes against women and children. Both the accused and the victim are entitled to receive copies of the FIR, police report, charge sheet, the statements, confessions and other documents within 14 days. That is a time limit. Courts are allowed a maximum of 2 adjournments to avoid unnecessary delay in the case hearing. Incidents now will be reported via electronic communication, eliminating the need to visit a police station. The introduction of a zero FIR now allows the individual to file a first information report at any police station regardless of the jurisdiction. Arrested persons have the right to inform the persons of their choice about their situation so that they can receive immediate support. Arrest details will be prominently displayed in the police station, district headquarters, for ease of access by the family and the friends. And the next most important point for July 1st is about the water swap treaty. So we hear this between Maharashtra and Karnataka. Now, the treaty was proposed by Maharashtra in 2016, aims to exchange water between the states rather than paying for the water that is released from the reservoirs from one state to another. And the next most important issue is with regard to Chief Secretary. The post of the Chief Secretary, the top most executive official and the senior most civil servant in the state government. The Chief Secretary is the ex officio head of the State Civil Services Board, the State Secretariat and the State Cadre of the IAS, and all the civil services under the rules of business of the government of the state. Now, the Chief Secretary acts as a principal advisor to the Chief Minister on all the matters of state administration. He is an officer of the IAS or the Indian Administrative Service. He is a senior most cadre post in the state administration, ranking 23rd in the order of precedence. And the Chief Secretary is an ex officio secretary of the State Cabinet, also called a Secretary to the Cabinet. The status of the Chief Secretary is equal to the Secretary to the Government of India. And the next most important issues with regard to Project 75I, also called as 75 India. It is a military acquisition initiative affiliated to India's Ministry of Defence and aimed at planned procurement of the conventional diesel electric submarines for the Indian Navy. Now, it was originally conceived in 1997 and the initiative's objective has been to procure a class of 6 conventionally powered attack submarines for the Indian Navy submarine arm as as a replacement for the force's Sindhu Ghosh class of submarines. And DRDO is now implementing this project 75I. I stands for India. This is an agency under the Department of Defence Research and Development, which is under the Ministry of Defence, Government of India, and is charged with the country's research and development, which is headquartered in Delhi, that is the National Capital Territory. It was formed in 1958 by merging of few organizations. They are the Technical Development Establishment with the Defence Science Organization under the administration of the then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. Subsequently, Defence Research and Development Service was constituted in 1979 as a Group A service for officers and the scientists directly under the administrative control of the Ministry of Defence. And the next most important is about the 109th anniversary being celebrated of a Kolkata headquartered organization which plays a very important role in flora and fauna of the country, called as the Zoological Survey of India. Now this body was established in 1916, and recently it rolled out the first of its kind Fauna of India checklist portal. Now a total of 641 species have been added to the fauna list in 2023, and among these new discoveries are curcuma cuccingens. So this is a new species of turmeric found in Manipur, a flowering plant called as Acacia venui. It is a flowering plant that is found in West Bengal. Now the Zoological Survey of India is a premier research organization functioning under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. It was established in 1916 and its headquarters is in Kolkata, and it has 16 regional centers spread across the country. And the last thing that you need to remember for July 1st is about your Chief of the Army Staff, which is a statutory office now and headed by a professional Indian Army General. So he is a 4-star general and the senior most operational officer of the Indian Army, the land-based force of the Ministry of Defence, and is tasked with the roles of overseeing overall functioning of this force during the peace and also wartime, and also preparing and maintenance of the force's operational effectiveness. It is a member, being a permanent member of the Chief of the Staff Committee and also the National Security Council. The Chief of the Army Staff bears the responsibility of advising the nation's civilian leadership, that is the Government of India, on matters that are important with regard to Indian Army. So we have General Dwivedi being appointed as the 30th Chief of the Army Staff. So this is all the important points that you need to remember from the prelims perspective for July 1st. And if you did, please do like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to comment at the end of the video. And I shall see you tomorrow with another new list with regard to July 2nd. Until then, it's very happy learning.